So I'd like to invite you here, Tommaso, for the conclusions. Thank you. I invited Tommaso only because he's a really operative vet. He works, he put the boots on the ground, so probably he sees something that is said from my side that I'm GIS and working essentially in the computer room. Probably I just see only some elements. And one element that I took from this presentation is that there are a lot of technology available. Countries has organized their own system. And yeah, the things that we do is more or less the same. So we have farms, we record in outbreaks, we draw a buffer surrounding the outbreaks, and then we export this idea. Then there are studies that develop some analytics. We saw also the idea from USDA, and that they develop routing and stuff like that. So I think that technological speaking, within the GEOZONE project, we introduced the idea of maturity. Exists a country with high maturity level of GIS, but also technology. But the problem is in the country that they don't have this the kind of maturity. But this is perspective from GIS and from office, from veterinary on the boots, on the ground.
I work at the local health unit, and I appreciate the presentation from Hélène, in which the connection with territory, the information from the territory is very important. It's the only data that you have, and there's a lack of information from, on the contrary, what we have in Italy, where we had a lot of information, and I see Marta, that came from our databases, SIMSA, and also the stuff that we know very well how to manage the data, how from this data came from. When we look at the dashboard, Seaman, and from the point of view of Masako, that also a very important system that has also, if I understand, some can be a useful tools for prediction also, and making choice during emergency. And the tool that we look from our colleague from USA, USDA, it was very important, and we use and we have the need from the territory that a system like this to, when we manage the emergency, the outbreaks, and also when we have to manage the byproducts generated from outbreaks. And in the DPPA, the densely populated poultry area, we had the problem that when we have to send byproducts from outbreaks, we have to be careful and avoid the secondary outbreaks due to the passage of the byproducts. And this is a hope for you that are studying and preparing these tools for study, for research, but they must be always related to the competent authorities and the decision makers, because we have to, on the local health unit, we have to take action in few time, and we have to know what is the consequence of our decision. So this is the need that came from the territories.
Yeah, so speaking about tools, what we saw was just we have points, buffer, and maps, very nice maps. But the outbreak doesn't finish with that. So the outbreak in the ground there are organizational matters, there are issues that you need to take into account, not only the routes to remove the animals, but also some other information that it's important for you to take a decision. So what is the request from the territory for the tool for decision support and disease response? What should be in a sort of ranking a hypothetical request that you can ask to the epidemiologists that develop tools?
This is a good question. In my opinion, what we need is very quick response in what we do in the field and manage the data directly on the web GIS to have a direct information and quickly respond to the reality. Sometimes there's a gap between information registered on the database and the reality of.
So real-time data for a quick response.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the first, but it will be useful for us to make some decision with a cuore leggero. Adesso non so come.
Yes, this is light perspective. So, but the other thing is when disease finishes and also the epidemic finish, there's still problem from local health unit related to the past presence of outbreaks. So you're still working on that. There are some other activity that you are involved with after the epidemics. Do you think that also in that activity that is reports, refounding farmers, do you think that you need also tools to support your activity for that things?
Yeah. The aftermath, the post-action situation is the most difficult for us because when the emergency stops, no one is interested in the events, so the attention of people on these things is lower, and but for us and for the farmers, it will be very good to have a specific report that define the lack of work for a specific farmer instead of for the presence of the disease. And also the tools that I've seen today, they must be oriented also for a group, for auditors that are not so scientifically prepared. Also for farmers.
So there are rooms to develop other tools, new modules, new needs, and as I said, Vittorio, every output create new needs of new outputs. So I understand the situation. I think we finished. Okay?
Oh, bon.
Okay.
Okay.
We finished.
Thank you.
Thank you all of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for participating in this seminary. And I would like only to thank two ladies, Federica and Annie, that make this event possible. And also the sponsor, the GEOZONE project that next week finished. And I hope that we continue our cooperation and to have the chance to meet again, probably in other countries, in France or in Edinburgh, who knows, and continue this great job we made and the opportunity to develop tools and the way to communicate better among countries about zoning. So thank you again. I hope you appreciate the location, the food, and the hospitality, Italian hospitality. Thank you very much again. Thank you.